Blazing Sphinx here, back at it with part 3 of What If Naruto and Zeraora were partners and he had a brother. Let's get into this. So last time we left off with the the three boys completing their exam. Oh wait, I forgot something else. So I wanted Naruto's Zeraora form to differ from Zeraora himself. So instead of Zeraora looking how he does on the right, when they synchronize, he looks how he looks on the left. But Naruto looks like this. Yeah, so Naruto looks like this instead of what he used to look like, and Zeraora looks like what Naruto used to look like. So I want them to look similar, but differentiate in like color variation and stuff. Anyway, so over a span of a couple of weeks, the three boys in Zeraora would be getting boring missions back to back to back, like helping someone cross the street or helping them with their groceries. So both Hikaru and Naruto went to complain to the Hokage about it. And when they made it to the Hokage's office, they would see Sasuke was already there complaining about it. So they would then join in, and this would overwhelm Hiruzen a lot, hearing three little kids complaining to him about missions. So he would then say, alright, I'll give you a C-rank mission. And this would make the three boys, a little happy inside, but they didn't show it. So the next day, they would start their mission, and a drunk man came into the room to see Zeraora, Kakashi, Sasuke, Naruto, and Hikaru. And Naruto is still the shortest, so he would go over to Naruto and be like, are these people supposed to escort me? They don't look like much, especially the short one. And Naruto wouldn't get pissed off, but Zeraora did. And in an instant, he was holding Tazuna in the chokehold, getting ready to put him to sleep. And it happened so fast, Tazuna didn't even know what was happening until like 3 seconds after. And even if he wasn't drunk, it would still happen 3 seconds after. That's just how fast Zeraora had moved. Naruto would then tell Zeraora to calm down, and Zeraora reluctantly let go of Tazuna and went back into his place. Tazuna's expression would completely change as he would become more nervous around Naruto, not wanting to disrespect him, and Zeraora getting mad again. So, while they're walking, Kakashi spots a puddle, and he already knows that those are people, and they're using the jutsu to hide in the puddles, but he acts like he doesn't know. So then, two people jump from the puddles, and they seemingly kill Kakashi by wrapping their chains around him and squeezing him tight enough to kill him. And he was shredded into pieces. This would make both Naruto, Sasuke, and Zeraora turn around, with Hikaru protecting Tazuna. Zeraora would then appear behind one of the demon brothers, and his fist would be enveloped by lightning and punch him into the sky. Then Naruto would appear in front of him, and both his arms would have a light aura around them, almost silver. And he would slam his arms down onto the man, knocking him straight into the ground. And this would kill him. And Sasuke handled the other brothers. And then Zeraora had looked at a tree, and Kakashi came from behind that tree. You have quite the sensing skills, don't you? Zeraora would nod his head and continue to walk with Naruto. Then, as they're walking a little bit farther, they notice how the fog is getting really thick and hard to see through. And out of nowhere, Kakashi tells everyone to duck, which they do. But Zeraora disappears into the trees a sword comes flying by, and a man would stand on the sword. Naruto would say, "Why did Zeraora run? Don't tell me he just chickened out now." Naruto would instantly get angry at the sight of Zeraora just leaving. So he would go up to fight Zabuza without even letting him talk. He would appear in front of Zabuza, and his eyes would then glow that same glow, and he would say, "Cross chop." He would then swing his arms at Zabuza, but Zabuza would just barely dodge, and Naruto would cut straight through the tree with his bare hands. He would then land on his feet and then start fighting Zabuza, throwing punches that Zabuza would block with his sword. But every time Naruto threw a punch, the punches just got harder, harder, and harder. Then, out of nowhere, Zeraora came down with a flying dropkick to Zabuza's face, sending him flying. Naruto would then look at Zeraora. I thought you just got scared and left. Zeraora made that face like, "Bro, I would never do that, cuz." Like, do you really think I'm that much of a punk, bro? But he was like, "Well, anyway, you know what to do, right?" And they would nod their heads at each other and try as hard as they could to synchronize with each other. And it worked. But as soon as Naruto had changed into his form, he couldn't control himself. And the synchronization broke, and both of them were running wild. Instead of them reverting to their base, they just started just going crazy. They both would dash at Zabuza and punch the sword, snapping it in half and punching into Zabuza's chest, making him fly back into a tree. Kakashi would try to calm them down, but they would just start beating on Kakashi, with Sasuke and Hikaru trying to calm them down as well, while Hikaru would use the Shadow Possession Jutsu to hold them in place, but he couldn't even hold them for a second. They instantly broke it and would start beating on Hikaru before Naruto had realized that he was literally beating up his own brother. So he would turn around and punch Zeraora in his face, and this would make the two start fighting, and they would disappear from everyone's eyes. But they could feel like shockwaves from the fight. Then Zeraora would be seen standing on the ground and Naruto in a tree, and they were staring dead at each other. Zeraora's arms would then be filled up with lightning as he would slam his arms onto the ground, and the ground would crack, releasing a light glow. And when it got under Naruto, the glow stretched out so far, and it almost hit Naruto. But Naruto would then spin fast, making a light blue aura around him, and he would slam himself down onto the ground, stopping Zeraora's attack. But that wasn't all. He would then spin at Zeraora and hit him right in the chest, sending him far back. And there's only one reason why he's beating him. So, Zeraora only gets a large power boost when they're synchronized. But since the synchronization broke, he lost most of the power boost, while Naruto keeps that power boost. So, Naruto ends up beating Zeraora, knocking him out of the form, which knocked Naruto out of the form as well. And they're knocked out. Kakashi, beat up and weakened, would finish the fight with Zabuza. And since Zabuza was just a bit more weakened, he ended up having to retreat, and Haku did the same thing that he did in the original. And then they would all get took into the Tazuna's house, and the only person that would have to learn how to walk on the tree and stuff would be Sasuke, seeing as Naruto, Hikaru had their father to teach them and Zeraora. So, yeah, they were pretty much good with that. They could even run on water. So after... Oh, and... yeah, so after Sasuke had got done with his training, they would all rest up for what they were for the rest of the mission. And once they woke up, they all were ready, and they started leading Tazuna to the bridge so they could, get him across. But then there was two figures in their way. One was Zabuza with a new sword as well. It wasn't as big as the other one, but it was big enough. And the Ambu that took him away. This would make Kakashi start fighting Zabuza, and Hikaru would start fighting Haku. And Hikaru would be decimating Haku before Haku then used the ice mirror jutsu. And still he was faring pretty good, and he still beat her. So this is gonna be no Sasuke unlocking his 3 Tomoe Sharingan, because I'm pretty sure he already knows the 2 Tomoe. Or did I not do that? I can't remember. Let me just say I did. So he doesn't unlock his 3 Tomoe Sharingan, and Naruto doesn't tap in to the QB influence, because this is how it goes down. So Hikaru being smart, when he starts to catch on that Haku leaves a shadow when he goes from mirror to mirror. So he would do the shadow possession jutsu around himself. So when Haku flew over him, he would get caught in the shadow possession jutsu. It worked. And Haku fell to the ground. And then he pretty much did the same thing Shikamaru did to the one girl in the training exams, where he had them back up and then threw the kunai. But Haku decimated his head on the ice and was knocked out. And Hikaru doesn't really have remorse for anybody but his brother and some other people that are good and kind-hearted. But he's like, nah, you lied to us and you tried to kill me. And he would just throw a kunai at Haku's face, and it would pierce straight through the mask. And then Zabuza would die by Kakashi, piercing him through the stomach. But then Gato and his men would appear, and they would start talking trash about how they were going to kill Haku and Zabuza anyway, because they're just talking down on them. And this made Naruto a little mad. Naruto was like, you don't have the right to talk to them about like that. You hired them to do this because you couldn't do it yourself. These two warriors are some of the best I've ever seen. And you dare talk to them like that. And around him, a dark red aura would appear. Yeah, you thought I was gonna miss out on making him use the QB influence? Nah, you're tripping. I'm playing. I was just playing. Yeah, I was trying to catch y'all slipping. Yeah, Hikaru has the 9 tails. Yeah, thought I would forget. But yeah, so he looks at Zeraora, and he's he nods his head again. So Kakashi knows what they're gonna try to do, and they do it again. But this time, the synchronization doesn't break, and they're still in control. Both Naruto and Zeraora would disappear, and Kakashi would look at all of Gato's men, and they would just fly into the air. They would just fly into the air in an instant, and Naruto and Zeraora would be seen holding Gato's shoulders, and Gato would have a fear in his heart, a great fear, as he could feel the bloodlust of Naruto and Zeraora. And they would jump into the air so high that they couldn't even see him anymore. And then they would see Gato being thrown down. With immense strength, he almost looked like a speeding bullet. And then he would hit the ground, breaking the bridge in 2. Doesn't make Gato mad. I mean, not Gato. Oh, hello.
I think I might cut my hair off.
And this would make Tazana mad, seeing as he would have more work to do to rebuild the bridge, but he didn't care after because he realized his life has just been saved. Now this is where I'm going to end this off. We're going to get into the tuning exams probably tomorrow in the next video. But other than that, Blazing Sphinx is out.